Hey guys, welcome back to It Takes Two. I'm Quinlan,
And I'm Emily.
and today we are going to be doing a little bit of a film review.
Today we watched Escape Room. If you are interested in watching this film, currently, as of us recording this, it is available on Tubi. Before we actually get into the episode today, guys, make sure you're following us on Twitter at Takes2Pod. And go check out our YouTube channel where we do post visuals occasionally, depending on what the video is. And make sure to check out our Spotify and make sure you're following us on Spotify too, because that does help. And then you're up to date on all new episodes we post.
So now we have 2 episodes on Spotify. So definitely check those out. Because, yeah, we just re-released our first episode again.
This is the new era of the podcast, and it will be more consistent moving forward. So make sure you have the bell clicked on either YouTube or Spotify so that you can always be notified when we post new episodes, because there is a new episode coming out twice a week. So be sure you're clicked and subscribed.
That's what I was trying to say.
I got you.
Episode twice, one, whatever. That's what I was going for.
One brain cell. One brain cell. Speaking of one brain cell, that is about as many as the contestants or participants in this movie had.
All 6 of them shared one combined brain cell.
And it was always angry.
Their big emotion, the entire film, big angry.
Big angry. Okay, guys, there will be spoilers, so if you don't want to know about this movie, please click off now, but honestly, I don't feel like this is a movie you need to see. If you want to see it, great. If you love cheesy horror like we do, it's interesting, it's well shot, it lacks.
Yeah, there's tons of other campy, cringy horror movies that you would put on because you want to see a campy, cringy horror movie, and this is definitely not one of them. Like Emily said, it had a good budget. You could tell it had money, but where it had money, it lacked in everything else, script and the acting and all of that. Like, it just wasn't, it doesn't compete with any other scary movies at all. It's so far below bar.
I was really excited when we started watching it because it said Voltage Pictures, and I was like, oh, a reputable studio. I'm hopeful for this at least. There's got to be something like good about it. And it is really well shot. And like the cinematography, amazing, looks like a quality like film. But there was just something missing. Like I didn't feel like anything happened the entire movie until people started dying, which didn't happen until like the last 30 minutes of the movie.
Mm-hmm. We had to pause it for a second. We're like, oh, we're only 47 minutes in and nobody's died yet. And then like a couple minutes later, the first person died. So it took almost 50 minutes of the hour and 20-minute movie for something to actually happen.
And I do have to say, it's pretty gory, but only like the first death. Because we watch a lot of horror movies. We're used to gore, we love blood, everything. We're Halloween people. But I did gag a little bit during the first death because you just watch people's flesh peel off and they're like freaking out. So they're just like flinging it off of themselves more. And that was gross.
Yeah, that death was gory and gross. The other ones were somebody basically got cut in two. And I don't even think we really saw much blood from that at all. And like somebody who's getting sliced in half, you would expect to see some gore there. Nothing. And then somebody died from an arm break. And so there was a little blood trickling down her arm at one point, but no gore really, besides that first kill. So it kind of seemed like it was going to save itself after the first kill, but then it just died off. The kills were not interesting at all.
They were very anticlimactic.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be really interested to look at how they went about their rating, because I know how the rating system works depends on the amount of blood and gore, which is why like Kill Bill, the original one, is a lot of it's cut to black and white because that's how they get around it, is the amount of blood shown. So I think this movie was rated R, and I wonder if that first kill was so bad that they didn't want it to be unrated. So maybe in order to keep the rating down, they just had to make less blood. But also I'd take that from a budget perspective too, of like
Mm-hmm.
they didn't have to show, like we didn't see him get cut in half. We heard him get cut in half, then we saw the body laying there and there was a little bit of blood around it. So I wonder if it was just also their effects budget.
Yeah.
They spent all the money on a cinematographer, all of it.
All of it. Yeah. Because I mean, even the first 5 minutes of the movie were like, wow, like this is.
We briefly interrupt this podcast for a happy birthday message
For
from
happy
your
birthday from my art. Okay.
What were we saying?
Oh, I was saying, okay. So yeah, within the first like 5 minutes of the movie, we could tell right away that like we both made comments on how nicely done the film was, like how crisp and clear the audio was, but also like just the scenes and the way that they were being put together just made it seem way nicer than any other cringy movie that we usually put on. We could tell right away that this was going to be different, but when in the end it was it was just nicely shot and not nicely done overall.
One of the things that really bothered me was, like you said, the dialogue was super crisp, which I appreciate, but there was no like ambient background noise. Like they were in the car, there was no car driving sounds, there was no like wind noise, street noise, nothing. It was just silence and them talking, and it just felt fake. I literally like looked at you and I was like, are they dubbing this in like post? Because why is it so clean? It's just, it messed with my head because like that's not what you do.
Yeah, you would have some, yeah, like some honking or some wind. Yeah, exactly. A little engine rumble, like something.
It took me out of the movie because there was just no realism to it.
Yeah, you need that extra, yeah, sound effects. It does definitely make or break because, yeah, it really puts you in there when you can feel like you're in a car, but that was really weird. Yeah.
The other thing I feel like we need to talk about is the tropes in this movie, because I feel like there was, but there wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
But like not purposefully, like they wanted them to be tropes, but they never achieved that.
Yeah. My phone's coming up. Somebody's at the front door. Who's at the front door?
Quinlan's gonna get kidnapped and taken to the escape room.
Oh my god, what the fuck is out there? There's spider webs in front of the camera, so I can't even see outside.
Okay, that's terrifying.
And literally the front door is like 5 feet away from me. So if somebody was out there, they could hear me talking about them.
Not very secretive, are we?
No, not at all.
Where's the giant wrench?
Yeah, the giant wrench, where is it? Tropes. Yeah, like in your typical cringy horror movies, you have like dumb blonde, jock, like class clown, those are like the typical movie things you see. And a couple of these people like had a couple elements, but like we said in the beginning, with the one brain cell, you would think that one person would have been the smart one per se, but sometimes they were all just so stupid, and like then the really dumb guy would make like the discovery, and you're like, okay, well, this is just dumb.
But it didn't feel like they were like looking for it. It felt like they just stumbled on it and were like, oh, well, this obviously goes right here, and then just like the whole puzzle is solved.
They'd have like zero mistakes. They would be like, oh, this is the puzzle, okay, it's solved.
The only mistakes they ever made was when the main guy got angry and just was trying to like shove things around.
He was so angry, it was scary.
Honestly, I thought like the entire time that the girlfriend was in on it and just trying to get revenge on him. The entire movie until the last 5 minutes.
Yeah. And like, why was she naked in that cage?
Yeah, the naked part made no sense. And I swear she was not naked the first time we saw her in the cage.
I swear she was clothed. I feel like we all would have noticed, and all of the people would have noticed, like, man, she's naked. But
yeah, they were just like, why is she in a cage?
But nobody said anything about the nakedness. And then like the next time we saw her, we're like, man, she really is naked. What's going on? So
yeah, there's just so many things that don't make sense. Like she calls 911 and then the guy like hacks the payphone that she uses. And he's just like, don't hang up on me. Why? That's the question, isn't it? Who am I? Why would I do this to you? And then like she just like passes out, and then the cops are coming to get her.
And then you hear sirens. And that's it.
That's it.
Sirens.
It was like the ending to Chrome Skull. I make that comparison a lot, but I feel like they're on the same tier because like at the end of Chrome Skull, it's just like him walking around and like
Yeah.
leading to another movie. And I feel like that's how they were pushing this one. Like it's supposed to have a sequel. Because if it's not, I'm just disappointed because you can't tell us nothing about the literal antagonist of the film
Mhm.
and him just be like, ooh, look, I'm spooky, I'm evil, and then just be like, ha ha.
And that's it. It just ends. So you have no like obviously closure, but then just no information. Like, and I feel like some movies can leave you hanging and do a good job about it. Like, especially movies that are going to have a sequel. But like this one, no one's gonna make a sequel for this movie. There's nowhere to go with it except for to, yeah, explain a little bit more about the antagonist. But nobody wants that. It was just terribly made or terribly like put together.
Not only was it open ended, though, it was open beginning. Like, there's just a guy trying to escape puzzles and then he dies at the beginning. He has no relevancy to any other character in this film, any other thing other than we think he was in the same escape room puzzle scenario. But we can't even prove that.
No, not at all. And the fact that like she got her, so how they found this escape room was through an invitation in the mail because you can't find it on Google and you can't look it up. But then she gets this cube thing in the mail that has Morse code and buttons, and when you press them right, a projector comes on and it says escapegames.com. So there is a website and it is online.
Yeah,
But
they were literally like, it's not online, but she had to go to a website to register.
yeah, and then the tickets that she presented to her boyfriend at the very beginning, it was like his birthday dinner, and so she's like, I got us this, and hands him an envelope, and he opens them up, and it's literally just like a black card with some gold foiling on it, and it's like the cutout of a keyhole, and he's like, oh, an escape room? Like he just knew.
There was no logos, nothing. Like, he's just like, ooh, generic escape room? That's obviously what this is for.
As if, yeah, like, because there was no writing on it at all. And he just knew right away. And
But also going back to the invitation, her logic was, oh, I've been researching escape rooms, so I must have been put on a mailing list. So someone just came and put this cube in my mailbox. Because in my brain, they never explained it. This cube was just set in her mailbox. There was no package, there was no nothing.
yeah, some weird projector cube that she got on a mailing list. That just doesn't add up. Like, who uses mailing lists like that to send a little weird cube in the mail?
But also, it was like 2017. So by research, does she just mean Googling things? Because that doesn't put you on a mailing list either.
No, not unless you're going on random websites and entering in your information.
Because in that case, it's kind of her fault. Just like the fact that they weren't allowed to know where the escape room was. They were just put in a like party bus with blacked out windows. And then when they got there, they had to be blindfolded.
And that was it. They didn't find that sketchy at all. And then the one girl, the girlfriend that, got the cube, she remained unblindfolded, and like everyone else had to get blindfolded, and they all walked in, and then they all got separated, and none of them at any point were like protesting this, like, why are we doing this still?
The guy literally got a chastity belt put on him and was just like, this is fine.
He's like, I'm good. You're like, no, you're not. Like, we don't know what's happening. They were in like a morgue room and nobody ever even checked in the bed tables. That's what really made me upset, was like they were straight up in a morgue room and they were looking for clues, but they never once even opened the doors to like the people drawers.
They didn't even try. They didn't even check them to see if they opened. They were just like, haha, we're in a morgue.
And that was it. Yeah.
The other sad part is like, this is the entirety of the film. We have described everything that has happened.
Every death, all of the characters involved. And then that's it. The whole movie.
And it's so confusing to me because I also feel like I get bored with movies a lot, even really good movies. I didn't feel necessarily ever bored in this film, and it went by really fast, but at the same time, nothing happened.
That was pretty much the movie in its entirety. There's not a whole lot for us to keep adding without just giving you a literal play-by-play of every single scene and the little dialogue that the movie actually had. But this still is our favorite genre. We still are going to keep doing cringy horror movies, talking about whatever. So just, yeah, be on the lookout for those.
You can expect a lot more B-list horror movies, D-list horror movies, especially from us, especially as we go into October spooky season, our favorite time of the year. Again, make sure you're following us on Twitter and tweet at us any movies you want us to review, because we love suggestions. We definitely have our own style and favorite genres, but we want to hear what you guys want to hear us talk about.
So yeah, just be on the lookout for any polls or so tweet at us, let us know what movies you want to see. If you have seen these movies, let us know. Our Twitter is takes2pod. Also make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Spotify so that you can, stay in the loop about what we're doing, what we're seeing, what we're talking about.
And with that, we'll see you guys in the next one.
Peace out, Cub Scout.